This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Let's remind everybody what's coming up later this same day. You guys are going to run Cincinnati, Ohio, and it'll be the Road Warriors versus the Midnight Express. The next day, there's a matinee show in Cleveland with Flair and Robert Gibson on top. How about that for a odd pairing? We get Dusty versus Arn Anderson, Magnum TA versus Baron Von Raschke, and the Midnight Express working with the Road Warriors. So it's an interesting set of opponents, a different sort of slate of matchups.
Yeah, I think they did the Flair Robert thing based on that angle we just saw.
The next day in Greenville, South Carolina, it's an interesting look. It's Dusty, Ricky, and Robert taking on Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, and Arn Anderson in an elimination match. And in it, Morton would defeat Flair by DQ to win the match when Anderson and Blanchard attacked Morton in the ring. And after the bout, Morton was triple teamed and suffered the broken nose, which we're going to start seeing on TV, I assume, next week. By the way, the day after that, it's the debut of Big Bubba. So we see Ray Traylor on TV here working enhancement matches, but he's finally going to get his big moment, but not before we hear from the Nature Boy.
Man, Arn Anderson and the world champion Ric Flair very happy about it.
Tony Schiavone, what you just witnessed is Robert Gibson getting in bed with the big dogs. You understand what I'm saying? It's real easy to come out here and pick your opponents, Gibson. You want to get in bed with the four horsemen, then you got to pay the fiddler. Now, Dusty Rhodes, I want to hit you real hard right now because the bashes are coming up. And you're talking about coming out here and standing women on their head. You're talking about being the dealer. Well, all through tradition, Dusty Rhodes, in order to be the dealer, you got to hold the cards. And as you see, here are the cards, along with Tully Blanchard and the Midnight Express. So you want to be the dealer, Rhodes? Forget about being tough on a local level. Right. Come get the big dogs. That's right.
But Dusty Rhodes is the toughest guy in studio wrestling I've ever seen in my life. You come out on your big Dusty and tell him how bad you are, that I got to deal with you. Well, this is the dealer. Right. This is the dealer. And it's mine. And little bitty Ricky Morton knows it. And Gibson knows it. Ha, ha, ha. That's right. A lot of guys try to walk the line. And you know what? They get their butt beat. Because when you go to bed with the big boys, you're going to feel some pain in the morning. You understand? Now, Road Warrior Hawk, let me tell you something, buddy. I've walked over better men than you to sidestep a good-looking gal on the way to the restroom. What you don't like about me is that I'm rich. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. You know where you were born? In the gutter. You're trash. You grew up lifting weights while I was whining and dining. Ooh, beautiful women. And let me tell you something, buddy. Listen real close. You are Chicago gutter trash. I am affluent society. We are the world champions. And Hawk, when I see you in Philadelphia, at the 30-minute mark when you're going, please, Nature Boy, finish me off. I can't lift these big arms. And then in the words of the great one, what's causing all this? Woo!
We'll be back right after.
Is that the most fun Arn and Rick have had doing a promo together that we've seen?
By far.
That was them in real life right there, what we just saw.
They're just, man, this thing with Dusty has fired him up today.
Big time.
I'm going to. You know something? I'm sure everybody saw Baby Doll out here earlier going on, making idle threats that she came back up just like Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA, or should I say the James boys, having to hide their faces because they're not men enough to face somebody in a broad light of day. Something shit. You know, Tony, for weeks I've been coming out here. I want the decision of that match they want on television reversed. I want them fined. I want them suspended. Somebody should do something, but nobody's doing nothing. But that don't make any difference because I ain't going to quit asking until for $50,000 to the Midnight Express. All they got to do is pull those masks off and get Dusty and Magnum suspended, and they got that bounty. And it may go for anybody else who wants to do the job, because you never know when a James gang's going to pop up. And I'll tell you one more thing, Dusty and Magnum. You think you're trying to hornswoggle us, getting us in these bunkhouse matches, challenging us all the time to bunkhouse matches, right? Because that's their specialty. They want to stack the deck. Well, let me tell you something, Dusty. You know, last week we were down there in San Antonio, Texas, right down there where Dusty's from. And I took Bobby and Dennis to one of those real live Texas ranches, and I took them to a bunkhouse, and I got them all fixed up in the bunkhouse clothes and the boots and the spurs and the ropes and the belts, and they played around with that stuff for a little while just to get used to it. And then I stuck them in a rodeo arena, and there, staring them straight in the face, was the biggest, baddest Brahma bull in Texas. One of them big old bulls with those big eyes. And he was snorting, and he was spitting, and he went charging at Lumber Boy Dennis. And Dennis took that big right hand and drilled that bull right between the eyes. He went down like he'd been shot by a cannon. And then when the bull looked up and said, "Please, Jim Cornette, don't let him beat on me anymore," that's when beautiful Bobby come off the top of the barn with that big knee. And he pinned that bull for the 3 count. And that's the same thing that's going to happen to Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA. And then we're going to take those masks off, and they're going to be out of my hair. And nobody is going to be able to dispute the fact that the Midnight Express are the greatest team in wrestling, and the James boys will never try to perpetrate those evil deeds on me again.
The manager.
Well, I love he's getting the fans fired up. I think one of my favorite things I heard from that promo we just heard with Arn and Rick.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Arn using the phrase "tough on a local level."
Yeah.
Like, oh, you may be a badass in your town,
Right.
but our badassery is on tour. Have badass will travel.
Loved Arn's beard too, man. Boy, that beard was really trimmed, really nice.
I loved he's the inventor of the pencil beard, which is why I love it so much. I loved his face when he knew where Rick was going, that Hawk was going to be blown up.
Yeah.
And Arn looks right at the camera and goes, his facial. I hope when Silva listens to this 6 months from now, because he's way behind, I'll start using that in the graphic, that screen grab, because that was hilarious.
Find out how much money you can save for free right now at savewithconrad.com.
So when that, starts to make the rounds, wait a minute, he's attacking him after the bell.
I know. This is Joel Deaton, Thunderfoot.
How about this? Let's track it. You never see this.
Yeah.
The hand is back. Mark it down.
I mean, listen, I'm not trying to be critical, and I know Joel Deaton's probably your BFF.
No,
but
he's
a
not.
right hand from Ron Garvin, and Ric Flair lays flat of his ass like he's been shot.
Right.
A right hand from Ron Garvin, and Joel Deaton just powders and goes to the back.
Yeah, I know. Something wrong there.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at savewithconrad.com.